When you make something and it's not really stirring that fire inside of you, you can feel it. And the fact that we're all, throughout this whole process, everybody has been so alive.
Just like how a caterpillar turns into a butterfly, there may be cocoon moments. There may be moments that hurt. And it's because you've never been given so much validation.
It's exciting, it's scary, but this is like the first time I'm actually starting to see a whole community stand up and rise as one.
Thank you all for coming out tonight. Good night. Joking. How's everyone doing? Everyone good? Good. First of all, I need to big up the creative director of Maharlika UK. That is Chris Reyes. Yes. As it said in the video, he decided to get a platform together that people could access not just live like yourselves tonight, but digitally as well, to make sure that Filipino community and the work they create is accessible by all. And then he put a St. Lucian man on the stage to host the show. So let me just tell you why I am able to be here. Let me tell you why I have a Filipino pass, okay? Anyone from East London? Good. That was the politest East London noise I've ever heard. COVID has changed us. So I went to sixth form in an area called Forest Gate. And yes, hold tight, Forest Gate, all day, bang, bang, cheng, cheng, all of that. And there was a big Filipino community at my sixth form. So I've probably been to more debuts than you. I know more Tagalog than you. That's a lie. The only word I know in Tagalog is Tagalog. But I've been so many roses and had so many conversations and eaten so much Filipino food that Chris said I am honorary Filipino and I'm allowed to be here. So if anyone has a problem with being on a stage, speak to Reyes. But no, seriously, it's an honor to be here for Maharlika. This is the second wave. It's incredible. This is not the first one, but the second wave. Make some noise if you were here for the first wave. Thank you for those people who lied. Thank you for the artists who have come to support the second wave. And the great thing about this tonight is that we don't just get to watch the work, we get to be a part of the work. We get to hear not just from the artists, the dancers, the visual artists, the filmmakers. We get to actually have conversations with them, break it down, hear things, understand about what the journey is for them and understand about what it means for you as an artist or just as a person who would like to see more people like you on screen, because we know what that means. We know what that means to every culture. If you grow up seeing people like yourself on the screen, it changes completely. You know what I mean? Thank you. It's my Filipino cousin. A strong clap. And thank you guys who did clap. For those of you who didn't, I don't care. No, but seriously, it's an incredible thing to do tonight. And I've known Chris for a long time. Obviously, we met in college, so that's about almost 18 years ago, which hurts my good skin to say. But to see what he has done, and not just as an artist, not just for the culture of the artistry, but for the culture of his community, is incredible. So I'm going to stop talking. We're going to get the first video on. You guys ready? Film was made by Melindy. Artists Chi and Dwayne. And this piece explores siblings, nurturing, brotherhood. So please, put your hands together, show some love for Kapatid. You ready to meet the people behind this? Yeah, let's get them up. Let's give them a round of applause. Where you at? Where you at? Look at them come fancy. Yes. You know the fancy clothes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Wow, wow, wow. Look at the fancy clothes. How you guys feeling? First of all, how you feeling? It's a bit of a weird thing, I think, isn't it? To be in the audience, watching the audience watch you perform, right? How do you feel?
I'm actually very speechless, so someone else take the mic, please. No, I'm shaking.
Yeah?
I think that's the first time we've all seen it like so big and finished. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a cut of it on Friday. That was the last time. Very different to this.
Right.
So
How different? Were you not in it? Had they tried to replace you? Or you're like, no, I'm in it.
cut my screen time.
Yeah, they cut my screen time.
No, it's moved on like miles from where it was, and I think for something like this that was so close to all of us, we can be very precious about like how we see it, like where it needs to go, and to have that sense of like, no, we've only had 2 weeks to do this.
Absolutely.
We've
2 weeks?
Yeah.
You made this one in 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I would say 2 weeks. We had 1 week of like collaborative exploration, and then 1 week of creation, of like creating this. So it was really 1 week, which is nuts.
Yeah, like we came up with the narrative concept on the Wednesday. We shot it on the Monday, and then a week and a half for post, which is kind of crazy.
A week and a half?
Yeah.
Was it
For
just you
color,
editing?
No, it was me editing. Josh on the sound. Shout out to Josh. Also, shout out to Addie, our amazing DP. Who's
Where you at? Where you
there? Shout out Addie. Yeah.
Wow. And how did you guys come up with the idea for this? Because it was incredible. And what I loved about it is that there was moments of stillness, which I find sometimes in dance we're afraid to do, actually, and just allow that moment to tell that part of the story. And I really, really loved that. I was moved by that. So how did you come up with this concept of these siblings and the journey that they're going on? What was the inspiration for it?
We have so many parallels that we have before we even started talking about narrative. So there was a lot of alignment here. We kind of had an area where we all crossed. So I think we played with that because it all connected to all of us, which made it easier, definitely easier.
Like we're all middle siblings.
You're all audience. Oh, their problem, child. No.
Or we have 2 other siblings. Yeah, that's the one.
Right.
And we originally wanted to make a work about our mothers. And then that slowly like boiled away into the influence of mothering, nourishment, which is that like the harsh light. No shade to mothers, but
Who's mom? Where's mom? Mom. Did you feel offended by this? Are there going to be less Christmas presents? It's a form of it's a form of
It's
art.
a
But if it
work
wasn't a
of
form of
art.
art, I will beat you. Get it. Yes, mum. Yes, that's great. And I just want to ask myself, did this piece start in the womb? It felt like the siblings were twins in the womb. Yeah. Who said, oh? You're not dumb. You just interpret it in a different way. What did you see? What did you think it was? Yeah, okay. Okay, sorry. I gave you a moment. And you flopped. Is this the first time you three have all worked together?
Yeah.
Right. So Chris put you guys together. Did you ever say? Was it just you pick a name out of the hat and then you go in the room and just make stuff?
We knew.
We kind of knew. We kind of also chose each other. I'd actually met Chi a week before. I'd worked with Dwayne's sister previously, so it was very weird that we all ended up in the same space. So in that way, it felt really fated, like we were meant to make something together.
Nice. Okay, I'm going to ask you one more question, and I'm going to turn it out to you guys, but also there's people on the live stream as well that I think we're getting questions from as well. I'm looking at it like I know who I'm supposed to be talking to. Okay, cool. Thank you. There you go. Got the signal. So we're going to turn it out to the audience first. Thank you. So my final question, what was the hardest bit to shoot? What was the most difficult shot to capture? Yeah.
Probably the top shot close-up of Dwayne and the scream, because those were so emotional and they're so close and you can see everything. And I'm also very aware of like the strain that you put on the performers, the actors, emotionally, because it does take a lot out of them. And like they were saying, it's so personal, such a personal work. So I think just having sensitivity and also capturing that, you have to pay special attention to.
Yeah, it's yes, of course you can.
I think for sound that was kind of difficult as well. Yeah.
Can I just add to that? I think for sound it was Josh speak.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was a challenge because I feel like it's such an emotional piece, and sometimes emotional isn't always logical, so it's like kind of putting all of our ideas together and all of our creativity, all of these guys' amazing creativity and like absolute passion for what they're doing. It just came through in such a way that, you know, it's all about feeling, and it's not necessarily about, okay, oh, that makes perfect sense in that, like, do you know what I mean? It's more about, okay, actually, how's it move me? How's it feel, basically? That's what it comes down to, and yeah, I don't really know what I'm trying to say.
I love that you carried on answering the question without the mic. So that part was just for us. I think he explained that quite well, didn't he? And actually, well done, we love you. We're going to turn it out to the audience. We have time for about 2 questions before we move on to the next video. So if you have a question, please put up your hand, speak now, or forever hold your beef. Was that you raising your hand? No, that was you just wiping something. Oh, the light was in your eyes. Yes, sir. Can we get a microphone, please? Thank you so much.
Hi, yeah. I wanted to ask about the kind of the space where the sort of cloths were sort of hung from above the roof, and how kind of like Chi, for your character, that was kind of a place of comfort, but for Dwayne, that was kind of like a place of conflict. Like as characters, like, or as that sort of relationship between the two, what did that space sort of mean to both of you, and why did it make you react in that way?
I think you hit the nail on the head. It's definitely a place of refuge for Chi's character. But then when my character enters that space, you know, they realize, oh, you've had a space of comfort, and all I've had is a space where I'm punished. And so it's trying to translate that resentment, that, you know, you see all this, like, you know, everything's so floaty and beautiful, but it's like, why have I never had that? And hence it's, you know, it turns into rage. And again, like, I think, like, for me personally, I was bringing a lot of my own baggage with my relationship with my sisters. I'm the middle child. My older sister kind of fulfilled a similar sort of role to that, and I realized how I was doing that within my relationship with my younger sister, for example. It's just about realizing where you have those moments where you pass on a trauma, and then at the end coming to that space of like, actually no, what I need to do is exercise empathy and save my sibling from punishment instead of being like, you know.
Nice. Thank you.
For me, I think the space where you got punished started to become a lot smaller than when it did in beginning, and I think the red was the first independent space that felt really large, and it felt really free, and it felt like it was an infinity to it, right? Because it was so like inconsistent and so broad. So for me, it was a space where I could run anywhere, and I would not, like, even though it's not a space that's familiar necessarily, it's somewhere that I can still feel safe, and I can still feel like just myself and explore myself safely. And Dwayne's character didn't have that, which is why he was so resentful towards that. And it just represents how different punishment styles can affect the relationship between the two people being punished or the two people involved, which is what it was about, technically, yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Have I got time for more question? I've got to move on. I'm just looking at it. I've got to move on. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. So I'm not in control. I'm just the person who looks like they're in control. Just so you know that. Kind of like our Prime Minister. Okay. So, did he say that on a Tuesday? I did, but listen. I can say that every day. Guys, thank you so much, man. Please give him a big round of applause. Okay. We're going to be moving on now, guys. We're going to be moving on to the next video. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. So the next film you're about to see is made by a filmmaker who goes by the name of Jed. That's right. You sing your people's praises. And this piece explores someone from the Filipino community navigating their way in the UK through the hip-hop dance vocabulary. The piece is called Mouse and is performed by the one and only B-Boy Mouse. So let's hear it for Mouse!
My name is Erison Katipon, better known as B-Boy Mouse. I am a breaker, a B-Boy, a hip-hop activist. When I first encountered hip-hop, I was back home in the Philippines, I didn't know that I was doing already hip-hop. I was dancing and trying to create just something from nothing, As I was a street kid since I was 8 years old, I didn't never really have no home. So I'm always just like with my friends back home in the Philippines. 3 of us used to just be stealing food in a market stuff just to eat. For breakfast we used to like go in the market and kick the watermelon stand because they put it like a pyramid like this. 3 kids running around accidentally kick the bottom of the pile, and all the watermelon goes in the road. My friend comes in running, pick it up, boom, that's breakfast. So that's what I say, that hip hop helped me because without hip hop, without this breaking, without me channeling my youthful energy to something positive, then I'll be something else, for definite. The integrity of hip-hop that I learned is the peace, love, unity, and having fun. And for me, that's what I stand for and what I know about hip-hop. And that's what hip-hop's for me. Because sometimes we don't see us as good as what people see us. You know what I mean? As an artist, I never thought that whatever I do is great. I only get it from the people telling me like, wow, it's good, it's amazing and stuff like that. I'm not asking for, you know, what do you call this, an okay for people, you know what I mean? But when I see their happiness from my movement, you know I'm doing good because that's what it is, you know, I express myself through that. Back home in Philippines, I can get uncomfortable. Everything is a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that, a little bit more of this, for me to be able to get in on a door in some places, you know, or have a conversation with somebody, you know. There's always something that I need to do more, because that's it. Hip hop is different type of subculture put together, you know what I mean? We take from gymnastic, we take from kung fu, we take from tap dancing, we take from Lindy hopping, you know what I mean? We put it all together, but when we put it there, we put the essence of b-boying, the hard dance and stuff like that. Then when you have that, you still need to bring out your own spirit out of all those things that you know you have, you know what I mean? And that's why I describe it as life, you know what I mean? That's the same thing. You're struggling, you know, you get something, you learn the foundation, but now you have to put your own way of dealing with things. But you know the rules, you know everything, you know your foundation, but how will you become different than everyone else, right? That's what we're trying to be in this world, right? You know, to be seen, to be heard, you know, and to be loved, you know what I mean? 1996, November 3, I came here. I arrived in London Heathrow, drove all the way to Luton, and I live in Luton Dunstable. You can imagine how crazy that is, from Manila. That's hustle and bustling, like you never sleep, and then into a quiet town of Luton Dunstable. It's like, so I'm brand new to everything that I see here in the UK, you know? And like I said, my cousin, I went to Birmingham, and then my cousin took me there to this club called The Sanctuary. And just like, first room, techno, I didn't really like it. And then I saw hip hop in this room, the main room in Sanctuary. And it's just like quiet, people are drinking, conversing, and they just announced that there's a b-boys coming up to open up for the main show, you know? So I'm just like, what the heck? Breakdancing? Straight away, yo, Gus, I'm going here. So I went there, watched them break, and of course, I love dancing, man. I just straight away went there and asked Lil Tim, you know, when they came down the stage, say, yo, excuse me, where do you guys do this? Is there any way I can do this with you guys? Can I join you guys? You know? And this guy just turned around on me like, nah, you can't join our crew, you know? You should go home and just, you know, practice yourself and see us afterwards, you know? And now, for me, as a kid, at 16 years old from the Philippines, when I get told no, I go get that shit. I told Tim, you know, when I get better, I'm gonna come and get you, and I'm gonna, you know, beat you, you know, with your own skills and stuff. So that is my first kind of in contact with hip hop heads and stuff. You know what I mean? I practiced afterward, and then my second encounter of hip hop, this is the big bang in my head, was Fresh 97. You know, that was in Birmingham too, in Digbeth, and I just saw how hip hop works with the peace, love, unity, and having fun. I've seen the community was growing. I've seen how these artists just speak the word of peace, love, unity, and having fun, and entertain the people that was on struggle but on a come up as well, you know. And that's when I fell in love with it, and I called that love my fever, you know. I catch the fever that year in Fresh 97. This is dry bar. This is where I really learned my breaking.
I actually felt like back then in Birmingham, the scene was just live. And you know what I used to love the most? We were all connected and we were all kind of intertwined, and we'd all have a jams to go to. We'd go to jams on the weekend, go to clubs, everybody would meet up, and everybody was welcome. It literally got to a point where I thought hip-hop was dead, because it just didn't feel the same as when, back in the day when I was younger, it was just live. Hip-hop just weren't music back then. Hip-hop was our culture. It was a culture just like
the people,
Caribbean is my culture. We lived and we breathed it, do you know what I mean?
Everyone that's in it have their own different culture as well.
And it added to the pot.
Added to the pot, you know. That's why everyone's individual. When they dance, they do their, you know, their traditional dance into the break beats or into the hip hop music that's been playing.
And he's enjoying himself. When he goes off, I know he's enjoying himself, and it usually comes with a big ass grin. I can't remember what the battle was, but I remember he was repping. Was he repping the UK? And I remember that I was watching it for the first time, and this dude just had bare swag, and he was just doing his thing, and he was just smiling, loving it. I knew at the time he was enjoying himself. I don't even think he was thinking. I think he was just doing mouse. Do you know what I'm saying? When he's training, that's a different thought process. It's usually coming up with something new or finding some other transitions. He's always making stuff up. Like when he does just let go, I don't feel like he's thinking. I think he's just enjoying. He's taking the moment in, you know. He's just enjoying himself. That's what I see when he dances. That's the soul that I'm talking about. Do you know what I mean? When I see him, I'm like, yo, this dude's got too much swag for a little Filipino. He's just killing it. I'm always proud of him when he's out there and he's doing his thing. Do you know what I mean?
Let's get these guys on the stage. Jed, where you at, man? Jed, come on. Is Mouse here tonight? Can Mouse be here? Mouse isn't here, isn't it? No. Jed! What? What, pan?
I'm all good.
You right, yeah?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good. How you feeling? Mouse isn't here tonight.
I wish he was here, because I really wanted to tell the rest of the story, like how this all came together, really.
Yeah.
It was actually like a 6-day process where I was trying to navigate this entire culture that he was trying to explain to me. We did 3 interviews, and the interview that I used up there is the final one, where I managed to actually ask the proper questions, where I was trying to get, you know, what he really wanted to say to everyone tonight. And for me, the one thing that we could both relate on is that we're first-generation Filipinos in the UK.
Right, okay.
And it's that crazy thing where, like, we were exchanging conversation about where we fit in, where we feel, where, you know, that we can fully grow and, you know, express ourselves. For me, it's videography and photography. For Mouse, it's, you know, dance. He explained just then that he's got this past, and the shots that you saw was just before the conversation where I said, can you bring it back to that time where you were that kid? Can you show me what that felt like? And that training session in his living room, that's where he just lay it all out.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where he lay it all out.
It's an incredible video. Like when I was watching it, I was thinking about the name of this event, Maharlika, and that obviously it comes from an old Filipino term to mean warrior class, free man, noble man. And looking at that, he just seemed so free in dance. And it's a beautiful thing that I think we forget, that not just dance, all art is a universal language. So I want to ask you, the great thing about this is usually we don't get this amount of access to the person behind the camera. But now I can ask you questions, Jed. But no, genuinely, like, for you, being a first generation Filipino in the UK, what did videography do for you?
For me, videography was a chance to explore, different cultures and explore different people. I mean, don't know personally many other videographers in Bradford or Leeds, for that fact, that are Filipino. It's just one of those things where, I was trying to find a culture where I fit in, but a cameraman helped me access these different people, like shooting music videos, or just going even to events where I'm just able to talk to people. That's where I feel like I really shine. Like, I started off doing street photography because I was shy to talk to people before. I was just really attracted to appearances, or just things that I didn't find as normal, or I just didn't find every day. And it was just one of those things where I didn't have an interest in dance. And it's just before I met Mouse, where it's just, we literally sat down and just had conversation, and that's all it was. Which led me to go into Birmingham on some random day where we were struggling to think about where we wanted to go next with the documentary, because I really wanted to delve deep into his past, because that was the only thing that I could relate to with him, where we're trying to find these these different alleyways to express ourselves. So yeah.
Interesting. Now you've been through this whole process, do you have a different engagement or interest or feeling about dance, break dance in particular? This is when you're like, no, and then you bang your whole head spin, innit?
No, I wish I could try it out, but I really, the one thing that I found the most interesting in this project was the people that he surrounded himself by. At the end of it, I didn't find hip hop to be just a culture. It's sort of a lifestyle. Because one minute we're just chilling on the couch talking, and the next thing you know, like, some kid in the corner of the room starts spinning on his head like a fidget spinner. No, but honestly, it was just one of those things where I really enjoyed just watching what was going on. Like, for once I could just observe and just be that fly on the wall and actually just capture it. The one thing that I got often was, like, when they were looking at the footage at the back of my screen, they were like, they've never seen their dance like that before. They've never seen their expression in that stuff. Because, like, when they're throwing it down on the floor, when they're having their competitions and stuff, all they know is that they're just trying to one-up the person that they're trying to battle. And for me, like, when just showing them their training videos was just, that sort of, like, that fire to keep on going, like, just following Mouse around. Like, for some bit of the documentary, you didn't even see Mouse. It's just sort of like the effect that it had on people. Like, the group of people that you've seen on the screen today is all the people that he's managed to bring together and just, like, light up that breaking culture in Manchester. And all of them have got their own separate projects going on, and I've managed to go into those little bits where he's judged the competition. That's the stuff that you saw. Yeah. I won't call it a sneaker festival, but, like, it was just a combination of stuff. And I think it's just that culture that hip hop has, he's explained that there's peace, love, and unity, and that is the one thing that I just wanted to capture overall, apart from just hip hop as a culture.
I think he captured that, right? Yeah. Okay, we got some time for a couple of questions before our first break from the audience. Does anyone have a question for Jed about his process, not his personal life, not what his Tinder's saying? Proper questions. Any questions? Speak. Oh, yes. Is that a hand up there? Was that a hand? Yeah. Can we get the microphone there?
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
It's not really a question, but it's more of a comment. It's more of a comment.
Go on.
But I really liked how you kind of portrayed his resilience, and kind of, because you said, from the film, he said that he came here, but he got excluded from the hip hop community, and he started his own hip hop community. So, I mean, like, what I'm saying is, like, I liked the resilience that he had, because, like, Filipinos have quite a lot of resilience in terms of, like, trying to get what they like, trying to get where they want to, kind of thing. If that makes sense. Like,
To be honest, I wish you heard the entire, I think it was like entire 2-hour conversation that we had from the first interview, because what he was trying to explain that during that time, I think, I wouldn't call it racism where like he was excluded because of, who he was. I think it was just more the fact that hip hop was like closed in at that time, and I think the fact that he's managed to open it up to these different people, especially the one thing that I didn't manage to put in the documentary was his project back in the Philippines, where he was able to reach out to people outside the UK. So he's built a base around the UK and got people to help him reach out to people further than the UK to kind of bring everyone together in this hip hop culture by starting a hip hop school out in the Philippines.
that's amazing.
Yeah, it really
That's
is.
really, really incredible. Really, really incredible. We've got one more question just here, and then we will finish. This is the final one. Thank you.
Hi. I was wondering what draws you to the kind of form of documentary? Like what kind of inspires you to make that kind of like film over others? Like what affinity do you have towards like documentary?
For me, it's really just the conversation and the connection that I have with people. I try to find things that I can connect to with them. For me, if I was just observing and just going along with what he was saying, for me, I wouldn't be putting my personal touch to it. I wouldn't be capturing the things that that I've shown today. It really is just about being able to really have those conversations about, what brought you here in the first place, or like, where do you want to take these things, and then bring it onto a more personal level, like, how do you feel about, in my case with Mouse, that I asked him, did you feel like, you weren't part, like you didn't belong in the UK? And his response was, well, now that he had this culture behind him, he's kind of formed it like, the UK is forming around him, just because of he's been able to connect to these different people and being able to, like spread that positivity, really. Yeah, that's it for me.
That's it from me. That means no further questions, Your Honor. Jed, Mouse, thank you guys, man, so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you. We are going to have a short 10-minute break now, guys, and when we're back on the other side, we will be kicking off with an amazing film titled I Am Her. See you guys on the other side. and the legs like a yo-sto. I know that you wanna have me on me and you know, but I think you're moving too fast. Welcome back, everyone. How we doing? How we doing? Everyone good? Make your way back to your seats. Look at all these people at the back. It's not Notting Hill. Keep moving. Don't try and catch a wine. Just catch a seat. That was all for you, bro. You enjoyed that one, innit? That's sweet, you. The laugh was so good. Took off his glasses. Okay, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. As I said just before our interval, we are going to be kicking off with a video made by the one and only, the legend, that is Jason Torres. Telling you. Beard gang, beard gang, beard gang, don't know. This piece is called I Am Her, and just so you know, because of the themes of this video, some viewers, if there's any young audience members, hopefully not, anyone under 18 here? Don't lie to your passport. But just so you know, there are some bits that are of a intense nature, shall we say. So if you have any young audience members, there may be bits that you might find a little bit unsuitable for them. So please just look out for them and look after them. You would think that was staged, innit? You would think. How old are you? Old enough, yeah? You want to give me that big Tuesday week talk, yeah? Want to give me that big I did my GCSEs when I was 7 talk, yeah? Old enough. What is your date of birth? You can't think that quick to lie. What's your date of birth? You see what I'm saying? If you're gonna tell me old enough, you better commit to it. Anything 1995 and earlier is good. What's your date of birth? Don't lie. Don't lie. Don't pause at that point. 1990. Come on. All right, look. Where's your parents? Hold on. It's not creche. That distance is too far. Whoop whoop. I'm just letting you know. I've said it. Yeah. Okay. So we even though this event is short, we are not covered for therapy. All right. I'm just letting you know. I said it. All right. I said it. Okay, guys. So as I said, made by the one and only Jason Torres, created by the incredible artists Jasmine and Jade. Please kick back, relax, and enjoy the film that is called I Am Her.
It started with small things. Lost in his perfume, his gaze, caressing my skin. In my absence, she was there. His whole his presence his control. I'm not alone in this. Paralyzed. He was holding my hand. And he never let go. And I kind of miss that. And I don't know what's happened now, and I don't know how we've gotten to this point. But I know he doesn't mean it when he says all that horrible stuff. Or he doesn't mean it. I think he's going through a hard time. You know, there's a lot, he's got a lot of deadlines at work. See? And a lot of times he's tired, you see. And he loves me. He loves me. He loves me. Born out of desperation and survival. Chaos and control. I am her, and she is me.
Let's get the team up here. Where they at? Where they at? You alright? You okay, yeah? Nothing in it. Deadpool was worse, right? Yeah. We got Jasmine, Jade, we got Jason, we got Josh come back for another one. Wow.
Ashley, be gentle, yeah? Be gentle.
Yeah. What'd you say?
I said be gentle.
Be gentle. I'm married. What are you talking about? That's a joke between friends, adult joke. Just got your insurance. Incredible, man. I'm still processing, if I'm being honest.
So am I.
I feel like I need a part 2 already. Yeah, right? Like I've got questions and stuff. It's really hard to do this straight away. But first of all, is it the first time you guys worked together?
Yeah, this is the first time that we've all collaborated.
Sick. Dope. And where did the idea for this film come from?
I think it's just after many discussions on what our theme could be about, and then it was finding that common ground of similar experiences that we've gone through in our personal lives, and we landed on this. It is heavy.
It is, and I'm trying to dissect it, but it's like can we come back next week, Chris? I need time, just because I want to treat it with the respect it deserves, and it's so easy to just have surface level questions, but I don't want it to be that, but also to respect what you guys have gone through personally and not delve in front of strangers and mum. So, that's what I'm trying to do.
I think let go, and if you want to ask questions, and
Yeah?
we'll let you know if we're we'll let you know if we're uncomfortable.
Because for me, the big thing for me, I was raised in a house of all women, so when I hear a title, I Am Her, and then I see something like this, for me, there's so many things that people go through, but women go through that they don't speak out about. They not always necessarily make excuses, but they find a way to keep moving forward to serve those around them, and I guess I got that from it. And it felt like 2 parallel universes, but then felt so real at the same time. And so for me, how would you like this film to help women to be that catalyst for conversation? Because the conversation is as important as the film. Do you see what I'm saying? because the film without the conversation doesn't serve what you want it to serve. So what would your dream be for other women watching this?
One of the main things that we discussed before we did this, and Chris as well, was about the ethics behind creating a piece of art and where the responsibility lies. And I think for us, as writers and filmmakers, was about being true to ourselves. So as long as we were, I don't want happy is the wrong word, but I guess it's remained true, the experiences and the ideas and the messages and the emotions that we wanted to evoke on the screen, as long as that remained true, then we knew that that was the right direction. But still, that's still an amazing conversation to keep having about the ethics and the responsibility behind art. That's why, you know, like you said at the beginning, there was that, just that kind of warning, you know, there might be things that do provoke you or do trigger you. And it's not there to do that necessarily on purpose, but it is a part of the art. That is a necessary part of the art in order to reach where we have reached, and we encourage you to go there if that's where you choose to go, or that's where you go, because of the amazing collaboration of everybody.
Well, this is what I was going to ask, if I'm being honest, because how did it feel for Jason and Josh as well, but for yourselves, how did it feel collaborating with men on this type of film?
Okay, do you want to go? It's awful. Oh, well, I'll answer a little bit and I'll pass it to you, Jane.
Yeah, of course.
For me, this was very much our experience as females, and so that was a really important part. It doesn't downplay or diminish anybody else's experiences in their own right, but this is a personal story combination of mine and Jade's. So it was very important for it to be a female voice and a female experience.
Yeah, no, it was definitely important that it was coming from a female perspective. Working with these guys, they were absolutely amazing and so supportive, and felt like even though they personally haven't been through what we've been through, just got it. Like Josh with the sound, Jason with the angles, the dolly zoom and everything else. So we felt that we were heard through this process, and yeah, hopefully you guys liked it.
Man. It was an experience for me. I don't know what emotion it evoked yet, but it definitely was an experience that I feel like I need to watch it again. You guys hit me with a Christopher Nolan kind of thing in a different way. Do you know what I'm saying? When you're like, I need to watch this again because I'm missing stuff, and there's just the little subtleties for me. But yeah, Jason, Josh, how was it working with these incredible women telling a very female-led narrative?
It was amazing. Like on my side, it was amazing. It was, obviously I'm not female.
What? Security.
No, but I came from a background in my personal life where my mum went through it and stuff. So I was able to relate to an extent, not from not from me, but from my mum's eyes.
You got to keep the mic there, bro, because they're not
Sorry,
gonna hear you.
sorry,
That's all right.
sorry.
You see that? You see that?
I know.
Surround sound all of a sudden.
I don't do this. I'm normally behind the camera. No, yeah. So I was viewing it normally how I'd film stuff or what I have in mind or how I want to shoot stuff, but also from my mum's perspective, because she went through a lot of that type of stuff. So it was just, it was challenging, very challenging on the sides of just everything, just being put together and trying to not understand it, but trying to dig deep in myself and get to where they were as well, because I need to compliment them on the way they're performing. So yeah, it was again, it was just challenging, but with the result, in my opinion, my personal opinion, I think we created something pretty decent. So.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like I wanted to just absorb and just listen. And this was the only one that I was actually on set with everyone, and like actually just listening the whole time, like with my setup and stuff, just listening, and that to be my primary function of the whole day, which I've never done before, like just not said like like anything, but be surrounded by people and just kind of be like a sponge. So I think that was quite special for me, because I was like, okay, this is almost like, it's like a practice, because we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and I'm like, maybe I should be listening twice as much as I'm speaking. So, and like, it's that kind of feeling where these guys, they were feeling the journey of that experience and getting to that place in their minds. But for me, I was just trying to hold that space and just be like, this is safe, like this is safe for you guys to just like express to the extent to which you guys did, and you did an amazing job. Like, I'm shaking because like I knew that would switch the room, but it was beautiful to watch it and experience it. So yeah.
Can I just also, I just want to shout out to Marie from Omnibus Theatre. Yay! She's here. I just want to say she created a really safe space. You were talking about safe spaces and tools that are really important in terms of filmmaking and writing and movement and creating. And especially the setup that Chris delivered with Maharlika was so important along this journey. I know the other guys will totally agree. And Marie just made a safe space, and it just continued all the way through to production and to post-production. It was absolutely amazing. So shout out to Marie. Thank you, Marie.
I'll talk Marie. Am I allowed to get one question? Yes? Thank you so much. Anyone have a question? Yes. I have a question. All right, we'll get 2. Yeah, they'll tell me off, but don't worry.
Hi. My question's to Jason. So I just want to talk about like the aesthetic of the video and the visuals and stuff, and what inspired that.
Okay. For me personally, I'm a really big fan of horrors, or like that's my genre. That's my go-to genre. I can watch a really dark, twisted horror and I go to sleep. Very nice. Like, I'm that guy.
Don't do that.
So yeah, I enjoy spaces in films where it's just held, like it's just a shot, like, and it's just held, like whether it's panned or it's just there. Like I like people questioning, oh, is something gonna come, or like like you need to know when to cut, obviously, because you can have a whole film and it's just one scene. But yeah, that's primarily that was with certain shots that I wanted to try. That was the main thing, was holding a space. And even a static shot, just holding it and just letting people view what's going on. Like that was my main thing, without any distractions of movement and stuff. There was certain points where I just wanted you to just focus and just be in there, and just complimented it when the sound would just cut and it's like, you're there. You can't go anywhere else. Like, you're in a space.
Yeah, we were saying that together. Like, it was so good sharing a space when editing and when stuff like that, because you can feel what the filmmaker's trying to do, and I'm like, all right, cool, I got you. And like, it's that kind of feeling of, all right, sometimes I actually don't need to be in there at all, and I can just let the visual and let the movement speak. And this one, the movement spoke so powerfully, and yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful to just witness, and I didn't need to.
Dope. Thank you. One more question here, please. Come on. Run. Come on.
First and foremost, thank you to everyone. That was a tremendous, amazing piece of work. Thanks for sharing that with us. The second thing is, I just wanted to ask, that scene in particular where, you feel like you're inside a blood vessel that's about to burst, and Jade's in the foreground and Jasmine's in the background. So intense. How do you guys come away from working during a day doing scenes like that? Like, how do you decompress, and on whatever the appropriate term is?
Well, I guess acting, movement, there might be slightly different processes. For the movement, I'll speak on, and if you want, we did a few takes of that, and I don't know if you can remember, I was whacking my head against the door. That was like real, by the way. That wasn't sound effects.
We thought we'd have to pay the deposit for the door because we hired the place.
At one point, we did think we broke the door, but we didn't. Yeah, it was, again, going back to the safe space and the process, it was being true and not rushing. It did help that we had the location overnight, so we were able to kind of climatize and get used to the space and figure out our movement and acting. So this helped, but yeah, it was about getting into that space, and because you've been doing R&D, you've been writing, you've been going back and forth, changing, editing, talking back and forth with sound and Jason. I found it, for me personally, it was easier to get into that space. Coming out of it, not so much. Getting into it, okay. Getting out of it, I'd have to maybe leave the room, go into the bedroom, kind of just compose myself. But yeah, doing it a few times brought out different movement. But we went obviously with the shot. I mean, Jade was amazing on that, and we dug deep. And I'll pass it to you so you can talk about yourself.
So it was a complete opposite process for me. For me, it was very difficult to get into that headspace. I had disassociated myself with those feelings for such a long time, for years. So to then try and evoke those emotions and then portray them in a way that is believable, I really had to get into the space. And I can't thank Chris enough and Jasmine for making sure that if I was to go that deep, because that wasn't acting, guys. I don't know if you know, that wasn't acting. That was something real. But I had Christopher, who is an amazing mentor, and Jasmine just guided me, and just we had safe practices. So if I needed to listen to music as well, I had a book as well, where I journaled my feelings going through that difficult period. So that helped me get into that space as well. And then coming out of it was fine. Coming out, I was like, oh, it's done, release. But yeah, it was complete opposite for me.
Wow, man. Guys, stop. It's not about me. It's about them. Please, I will take
Love
the
you
compliment. It's all right. I've got insecurities. That's South. Oh no. We don't really like that, you know.
Yeah, you can hear them.
We're gonna have to start getting something more than the ULEZ to just keep them out. Guys, seriously, man, thank you so much. An incredible piece of work. I'm still processing it, but look, I am her, everyone. Please give it up for them.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. The next piece. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so captivated by that. I forgot what I was doing, so I was like, let me look at my running order. Okay, so this piece, the filmmaker is Maynard Wheaton. The artist, Sunshine and Kristen. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time for Bayani.
Now, before we start, we need permission to enter. This sacred space. Ground yourself in the earth, and everything that surrounds you. Let it come in. Feel the Great Spirit. It's everywhere and always there. There is just silence and warmth. There is just darkness, nothing more. Anyways, so slow, connected to the mother of us all. Benny, it's time to rise. Benny, wipe the sadness from your eyes, from the truth you cannot hide, as true as the day is tonight. Bayani, all things must die. Listen to your heart. Yes, you can refuse the call to adventure. It's up to you. Journey to the sea. Lay your burdens down, rising from the ashes. Place on you a crown. You've got to let go. Baby, it's time to rise. Baby, oh, your soul. On every quest, you must face trials and tribulations. They will serve to test you and purify. Oh, don't you give in. No, don't you give in. Use the stars to guide you. On your way you will pass the village of grief. Nothing thrives there. It's cold as night. Move on, move on, walk on. Returning to the earth is promised us at birth. The veil will fall. See clearly. There is but wholeness. We are one, and you are home. It's time to rise, Bayani. Wipe that sadness from your eyes. Don't be attached to skin and bone. It's just a vessel for your soul. Oh, Bayani. Make every step a prayer, guided by the light. What the smallest creature with wonder and delight? The stars call out your name, so don't you be afraid, 'cause only love is real. It never fades away. Benny, you are home, one with the wonder, the mystery unknown. You are a tree golden roots. Future seeds will reap your fruits. We are one. You are home.
Bayani. It's a tune, in it. What's going on my iTunes, bruv? Let's get the artist up here, please. Wow, wow, wow. Clap for the outfit. My goodness. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. How you guys feeling?
So good. That was
Yeah?
my first time to see it. So
Oh, wow.
like, well done, guys. It's really good.
Wow. You don't want the mic?
Hello.
It's not going to be a hard question.
Okay.
All right.
Hit me.
If you were a fruit, what fruit would you be and
That's
why?
that's a really hard
It's
question.
an easy question.
Mango?
Oh, okay. Hold on. Why, baby?
Because
Why?
I'm so sweet.
Yeah, don't know. You're really angry at me, innit?
No.
Oh. Mango for real?
I'm mango sweet.
Yeah? Is
Yeah.
mangoes indigenous to the Philippines? I'm gonna. It was a joke. Calm down. Have you not seen what I've been doing all evening? I work for the BBC. Done that for years, mate. Calm it. That was just to break the ice. She felt a bit worried. I saw how she looked at the mic like it was a villain. So she was like, so I just wanted to break the ice. Icebreaker. Hashtag it. Let's talk about the art, shall we? Man's just trying to make a little money and feed his children. Got nappies aren't cheap. So, what inspired this film? Talk to me about it. How did you guys come together? Why was this the theme that you decided to explore and in this way?
So, as mentioned earlier, we kind of had a very quick turnaround. So we had a week of kind of exploration workshops and then a week of kind of creation. And it came to, I think, Wednesday, Thursday, by the time we actually knew what we were going to be making the following Tuesday. But basically, Sunshine and I, in kind of the first week, had discovered that we were very much on the same page in terms of what we were driven by, and that was kind of mythology, our ancestors, the future, and so all of these things kind of, we found our voice quite quickly, and we were sitting there one day going, we had just like, as May said, we need to vomit it all out and then clean it up, and so we were in the cleaning process, and we were just going, we don't find anything here. And eventually, we just said, Sunshine said, well, what's shattering our worlds right now? And then we got into death. So we very much wanted to look at a kind of decolonized idea of death and write a myth around the story of returning to the earth and take away the fear of death and just, as Sunshine said, let people know it's just part of life.
What I found very interesting is that there are a lot of short films and pieces and work made about death, but this was the first time I watched something that actually felt welcoming and felt warm and felt accepting of saying, come to us rather than what we're leaving behind, actually what we're going on to meet our ancestors. So personally, I believe you guys achieved that. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it felt very, very good to watch. It definitely got rid of the fear for me. How did the song come about? I gotta know, man.
So, yeah, it was about, you know, what you were saying about fear. Fear is a really big obstruction to living your life fully. And I think it's a journey that every single person, regardless of your color and creed, has to go through. All of our ancestors did. And these myths that were told around the fire by indigenous people were all about reminding us that we're all on the same journey. And somehow it dissipates all of the walls that we build between each other, you know. You're the bad one and I'm the good one. It's actually, no, we're all on this beautiful journey. So we, during our research and development with the amazing Marie, and I really can't tell you enough how amazing and what an impact she has had on our lives, the mythology connection and the fact that Kristen does hula, which is also deeply rooted in lots of amazing traditions, meant that the myth story kind of, it was a collaboration, but mostly Kristen's. But we started off making up our own myths, and Kristen was kind of in charge of writing the myth, and I was in charge of making the song. And that's the way myths were told. You know, it's all poetry. It was never written down. It was definitely something that was kept to a beat. But we wanted it to be modern. We wanted it to be the bridge to the future. Like, we've redefined Philippines, you know, from like Philip and the Spanish and all of the horrible things they did to our people. And, you know, the rebrand is Maharlikan. And so we wanted to talk to the new Maharlikans. So Filipinos, bless them, we spread all over the world. And in all the many colors and all the many languages, and we love it, and we're so beautiful and so proud. And we wanted to speak to that crowd, so we are the future Maharlikans, and we're kind of aiming to the future, which is beautiful and golden and rooted in the beauty of our ancestors.
Man, it came out, really did. I was sitting at Bayani, I was like, wait, I want to go Bayani, like, what is this?
And thank you, Josh, because I basically...
Did Josh produce this?
What happened was I'd just done a kind of jam session to a Jay Dilla track, and then it was like, Josh, so can you like do something?
And then Josh does what he amazingly does, right?
Nah, and it was just such a breath of fresh air because, I mean, the feeling of it was rooted, but then it also felt like a little bit, I don't know, like it moves you. So I was kind of like, all right. So
yes for your rhythm, Josh. Yes for your rhythm. Go on with your bad self. Go on with your bad self.
Yeah, so it just felt amazing, and like I think we need to like put this on Spotify or something. Like,
bruv, it's a tune.
Really tough.
I don't know what Bayani is, but it could be a restaurant. I'm going. What does it mean, hero? Hero. It's incredible, man. I actually think that should be the theme tune for the third wave of Maharlika. I think that's how the show should start. Chris, next wave, as the orders are coming in, Bayani. Hero. We're all heroes, right? That's what the Filipinos are, heroes on their own journey. It ties in warrior class, nobleman. I'm not getting any commission off this, but I just think it's gonna work, genuinely. And things that I think worked is definitely, man, the cinematography on this, man. You had your work cut out, right? Right? Man, talk to me about how you achieved this, man, because the mythical element was there, man. At one point, I was transported back to like 1995 Mortal Kombat. Remember them ones there? You know what I'm saying, right? So you really captured like the mythical element, but also kept it modern, as Sunshine was talking about. How did you achieve that?
I think it really did start from the vomit. So, like, I do speak very weird. Really sorry, but it did start from the vomit, and I told them, like, I trusted them straight away the moment I met them, because I told them straight away, like, you two are like fire to each other. One is oxygen, one's fire, and you two need each other to create the art. And yeah, straight away I was like, cool, vomit everything, and I will be your ground. I will bring everything back up, and create something for you. So trust me to do that. You do your best, and I will show you like that in the best way I can. Yeah, and I think basically I just went for it.
It was incredible.
I think. Yeah, sorry. I just
no. Go on. You go.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, like, a lot of it was handheld because a lot of it was very down to earth. Like, it feels like I wanted the audience to be in the movie as well. So like everything was shaky, everything was handheld. Some was like with like a vintage dirty lens as well. So like it just it's cool.
Just my final question before I open it out. Where did you film? I think the stuff that you were doing at the beginning. Where did you film that? Where was that shot?
So we got a room, and we just set things on fire, and that's why everything was orange. No. So we
Don't do that.
So, no.
I mean, that doesn't sound safe.
Just trust me. That's what I told them.
Right.
Trust me.
Right.
No. But we got Mavro Studios. We got man like Marco over there. Guess I've worked with them like before with like my friend Nick over there as well. I just thought, okay, just needed a perfect blackout room, and I just needed to create a scene in terms of just like death can be very scary, can be very enclosed, and so that's what like we wanted to portray straight away. I really wanted to kind of make everything loop as much as I could and make it feel like it wasn't a room. So hence there was a lot of like movements and stuff like that.
Yeah. It didn't feel like a room to me. I wouldn't have thought you was in a room.
Thank you. But yeah, it's just black room and then literally just like
It's
lights.
incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible, man. Congratulations. Seriously, all of you. It really was. We are going to open it out to the audience. We have time for 2 questions. Who has? Yes, 1. No. He's running now. Good work experience, so we've got to let him have the opportunity.
I really love the costumes. There's lighting in it and everything, and just how did you come up with the concepts for them, and then how did you make them practical in the movie?
For the costumes?
So we had different characters, and it wasn't until last minute things got changed, basically. But there was the idea of this kind of earth spirit, and that was always going to be kind of inspired by the indigenous clothes of the Philippines, but kind of earthy colors and the kind of hat. And then there was this kind of quite ominous unknown. And I was going to make that kind of a mask or some kind of shamanic thing. But actually, I wanted it to be futuristic. I wanted it to, because that's what the unknown is to us now. Maybe back in the day, it would have been animal masks or something like that. But for us, the unknown is probably outer space. So I wanted that to be quite futuristic and silver. And so, but we also had lots of help.
So my costumes basically, when I'm kind of in this death place and like crossing the village of grief, go back, listen to the words, and you'll be like, oh, I hear the myth. There's like a whole story. You might have just been like super engrossed with the music, but like, yeah, listen to it the 500 times I know you're going to. But yeah, so basically, right, already I'm like, this is the jam. So yeah, so like in death, we just wanted to kind of have this more, materialistic. We had a lot of stuff on us. We had these golds and these, we were just lots of things on us. And then when we made it to the forest, we wanted kind of a more natural feeling, and I was driven by kind of my hula roots. So I just went with something really simple, and that was just much more in tune with the earth. And shout out to Jack.
Jack did the
my
costume?
husband, the man. Yeah.
Jack did the costume, made the costume?
He made my costumes, and also, I was there for production design and just, constantly keeping an eye on all the things and making sure that they looked right for the camera. Yeah.
Wow.
Good man.
Who is Jack to you?
My husband.
Oh, he's your husband. Oh, so you couldn't even send the invoice, Jack. That just comes as part of the vows, isn't it? And I hear you, bro. What about your costume? Do you make your stuff yourself? Because this is just like, even today,
I
it's
love.
like
I just love dressing up, love. I just love it. Like any excuse to dress
Right.
up. So when I met Chris and he was like, we're going to do this thing, and he just sparked my fire. I was like, yeah, costumes. We can do costumes. So I've been raiding haberdasheries, and yeah, I like just improvising with what I've got. I like not spending money and making something look cool.
Well, I tell you what, you are living rich.
Oh, thank you!
because-
Oh my God, thank you!
Wow, incredible! It's just stunning, wonderful, wonderful. Any final question before we go to our final break? Of course, we always got time for you, baby. Hey, is it not on? I told you, work experience.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. We good? Hey, hey.
Hey.
Just wanted to say, amazing sort of video filming is amazing, and just wanted to say, like, I love. It's not a question. It's more of just a comment.
Yeah,
just
cool.
to say, I can't actually see you right now, but hey. I'm in. Yeah. So just wanted to say, it's such an amazing thing to see sort of the Polynesian culture blending with the Filipino sort of aesthetic. So, I mean, yeah, just experiencing that in a video is great. And hey. So, yeah, just wanted to say you an amazing job. That's it. You guys are sick.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for your film, for your work. It's incredible, guys. We're gonna have one more 10-minute interval. It's a Tuesday. It should be a Friday. I'm already ready for the weekend. We're gonna have one more 10-minute interval. When we come back, we're gonna have a panel discussion with some special guests, and then we're gonna sit down and get up close and personal with the man himself, Mr. Chris Reyes. So, we'll see you guys on the other side for the next 20 minutes to drink. Please make your way in. If there's anyone in the foyer, please make your way in as well, please. Everyone at the bar, please start to take your seats. Chris Reyes. Is Chris even here? He went to the toilet. He's not allowed to go to the toilet at his events. He has to hold it until Wednesday. Okay, guys, please take your seats. We are going to get kicked off. We have our panel here. Doing a lovely live discussion now. I'll wait for these guys to join, and then I will introduce you all. Please take your seats if you're coming back in and joining us. All the people at the bar, please get your drinks and go to your seats. Yes, Ryan. Right. You ready, bro? I'm good. I'm good. Isn't it? Everyone bullies me. Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm just here trying to pay off the student loan I never had. Right, I'm going to make a start. I feel like these people never really existed. They're all smoking outside. Come on. What is this? Look at you lot. That's embarrassing. Jade, why are you part of that? And then you've come in late and then you're having water. You ain't got time for the drink. You better quench your thirst on your saliva. We ain't got time for that. Shocking. Right, welcome back. Anyone else late, we'll just laugh at them and point. Okay, so we have our panel here. I'm gonna guess and see if I get this right. This is Angelo Paragoso. Did I get that right? Yes. Acting creative sector co-founder of Pinksy Creatives. Then we have Emily Foster. Yes. Corporate sector founder of Third Culture. And in the middle we have Giselle Garcia. Giselle, it is Giselle Garcia, education sector, lecturer of the Performing Arts and Dramaturgy at the University of West London, in East. I'm going to let that slide. But we have a panel here today, and the lovely Chris Reyes has put some questions together for you. Yeah, they're hard. There's a microphone here, Angelo, don't hide away. We've got 2 microphones. Get the microphone. You know what you're here, there's a job to do. Right. So, the first question, just to get the ball rolling. If voting for Conservative or Labour... No, I'm joking. Filipino communities have resided within the UK for many decades. Are there enough opportunities accessible to Filipino professionals within the UK?
No.
No.
Not yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay, talk to me about not yet. Why not yet?
There's so much of us. There should these opportunities should be widened to to everybody.
And when we think about this word accessible, is it that the opportunity is there, but the way to get it isn't as, I guess, commercially promoted?
I think that it's a great question, and accessibility is not the only thing. And I'm not sure that it is accessible. And the reason behind that is, at the end of the day, we're still severely underrepresented in many places, whether it's in the media, in other powerful positions, in arts, and the corporate world. And if there's underrepresentation, then there's no visibility. And if there's no visibility, there's no accessibility. So it's all linked. And at the moment, there's a severe issue with that. Considering that Filipinos make up the vast majority of Southeast Asians in this country, by far, at least 300,000 to 400,000. The amount of people that we actually see, in life and our kids see in the UK, in the media is severely limited.
That's an incredible answer.
She's come prepared.
But
I have notes.
This is my thing, right? This is my thing. for me, that answer is the conversation. But what's the action? It's all great that we know that, okay, there's no visibility, there's not enough visibility, there's not enough accessibility, but how do we change that? How? And I'm not expecting to find the answer, but how, like, if we don't address the how, then we're always going to just be talking about why there is no. So how do we change that?
I think one of the reasons, we need to get to know who's around. And I think that's very important. So events like this is really lovely because we're all getting to know each other and see who's, because for many years I was like, where are all the Filipinos, you know? There's loads of groups like the East and Southeast Asian communities, the EC, but then we get lost in them. But it's not our fault, but you know, we just get lost in them because there's more of them, just by default. But I think getting to know each other, getting to connect, knowing what people are doing, and supporting each other by attending events like this is a great start.
Absolutely. And I think it's also about, there's people in those positions that will so easily go, oh, but we've looked and we can't find anyone. Like I work on a very, I'm just going to be bait. I was going to try and be like funny. I work on a very successful show in the West End. I work on the Get Up, Stand Up Bob Marley musical. I'm the associate director on that show, right? Thank you. But here's the thing, and I hope I don't get fired. If I do, then it's true anyway. Anyway, here's the thing, right? We were in a cast change and we were trying to obviously find people for the show. The show is very specific, it's culturally specific. Yes, you may be looking for black people, but also on top of it, you want people that understand the Caribbean culture or are Caribbean or of Jamaican heritage. And it was really hard to hear the casting directors say, oh, we've looked and we can't find no one. And then we would just go in our phone and be like, have you spoken to this person? They're an actor, they're on Spotlight. Oh, what a great suggestion. So there's part of me that just goes, look harder. Like, just look, like, do your job. If that's what you're looking for, go and find it. Do you see what I'm saying? Because if someone is out there going, we can't find any Filipino videographer, but then Chris Reyes has found 4, 5, 6 people for one event, I'm just like, bruv, what are you doing from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday? And that's the hard thing for me. Like, these conversations are great, but until we admit that sometimes the people who are making the decisions don't know what they're doing and are not actually invested in the community, we're never ever going to get further in all communities. Do you know, that's my hard thing. That's what I grapple with. Sorry, go on. I know you want to say something. Yeah. I feel like you did. Sorry, I didn't want to put it on you.
I was really resonating with what you're saying. Not that I've, too much, that you said a lot of really good things there. And I think what's really interesting to think about in terms of representation is also how we define ourselves as Filipino, how we market ourselves as Filipino. We do have many layers to our identities, and what is Filipino to, someone you pass by on the street could be very different from the way you define yourself. So this, I think, is a big factor when we think about when we're finding Filipinos or we're finding other global majority people to play particular roles, because I work in the theater primarily. Are we thinking specifically about them, or are we thinking about a more kind of generic sense of diversity? Oops. So it's a bit terrifying, really, because and right now I can tell you that working with showcases for actors within a university setting, it's a really hard job trying to figure out what plays to put on, looking at the student demographic that we have. And we talk a lot about questions in terms of, do we pick a play that has 5 black actors in it, 2 Filipino, you know what I mean? Like, where is that play? And I think going back even further from that, do we then do something that is not identity specific? A bit questionable as well, but these conversations, difficult conversations, have to be had. And that goes back to what we're studying as well. Theater history, it doesn't start with the Greeks and all of that. So, even with myself, like, I start to think about how I'm teaching theater and playwriting and the stories that I'm asking my students to read. Am I asking them to read Arthur Miller, or am I asking them to read something else, and why am I choosing that? And that's in my case, that's one way I can, try, I suppose, to contribute to this growing anger, you know, in spite of that like Filipino smile that happens constantly. I'm very, very angry, you know, so I'm very angry, and that's when we can do that. So.
I'd also like to add that, you know, as someone has said, how, you know, you contribute to this movement, or to really thinking about the importance of representation identity in what you do. And when you refer to decision makers, right, in that particular example, it's very important to remember. So I come not from the arts. I mean, long time ago I thought I was going to be, but I ended up in the creative industry on the media side, so on the corporate sector for over 2 decades. And at the end of the day, we have to remember the power of corporations, the power of brand, the money that sits behind all of this, and who are the people that's sitting in those positions that are ultimately maybe hiring those casting directors, you know, because these are the people that need to be educated, not just in understanding identities, because at the end of the day, yes, the Filipinos have an identity, but so does everybody else. Okay, so we have to understand about intersectionality. We have a lot of multiracial people probably in the room as well, and so we kind of have to understand that there are different perspectives to things. But ultimately, we also need to educate people not just in being different or thinking different, but the processes and the systems need to change. So within the workplace, we have similar challenges in the corporate world. You know, oh, you know, I really want a diverse group of people. Well, what's diverse? Or a diverse person. What's a diverse person? I mean, that's complete bullshit, right? And then they say, oh, but you know, no one's applying for that job. But did you actually create the system so that people knew they could apply for that job? And that's the challenge, and it's the same challenge with this as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. One of the things that I think Chris Reyes has achieved so well is actually being able to access funding and knowing how to write successful funding bids and grants, and things like even accessing the Arts Council. For a lot of people, it feels like I'm not deserving because I can't understand it at first.
Very daunting for a lot of artists too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's another way that limits, because they could be in control, because they could be funded to put on their own work, and then their work becomes more accessible, but because of that. So I'm really interested in the corporate world as well. I'm also interested in what you thought you was going to be before you joined. So I need to know, what was it? Was it a dancer, singer?
I always wanted to be a singer.
A singer?
Yeah, but, well.
Well, Emily, it's never too late, and now is your moment.
She sings it very well.
You was going to do it for a second. She was going to sing. We almost had her. Oh man, I will go on tour with you. I will do BVs. I'm down. Sorry, let me get back to work before Chris fires me. There's a lot of firing going on in my life at the moment, isn't there? I am really interested in the corporate sector, and what do you feel that the corporate sector could do to support this and make it more accessible?
A lot. So even in the media world that I worked in, you know, there is a constant stream of new content being created, and there is some movement. There are new kind of roles being hired into that business, where, you know, they're looking for people that are actually specialists in diversity and inclusion and understand how to change systems and processes, but also work with the more sort of, I would say, artistic or creative side, so really working with producers. But the problem is at the moment is that world at the moment still thinks of this as being just about representation in front of the camera, and not behind the camera. And so that's why tonight seeing everybody from across the range, from across all the different disciplines is really, really important. And to raise awareness of that is really important so people really understand. Because unless you've got those people in all those different places, then people really, things won't necessarily be authentic. And I'm not saying that you have to be one thing actually or have a certain identity to produce something at all, but at least having that understanding and understanding that these people exist is really important. So I think that's still a lot of work to do in that area, but I have seen it happening because I did apply for a job about doing it once. I didn't get it, but their loss. But it's happening. It's happening, but it's slow.
How can we speed it up?
More of these. I think also being more open and unafraid, to Angelo's point earlier, around that sort of fear of kind of having that conversation about money. You know, if you're purely an artist, I think, from what I understand, Angelo, you know, that's kind of like a tricky area.
It's quite tricky for artists because they think, oh, I'm an artist. I have nothing to do with money. But it's show business. The name says it all. It's a business. So we have to get our thinking changed in a way, you know, it's and also banding together with other people who have similar experiences to you, getting to know more people. Like, you know, when we created Pinksy Creatives, we were like, okay, what are we going to focus on? We didn't want to be a bunch of actors and dancers, because we were like, we need people in the other creative industries, like advertising, marketing, you know, because that's where we learn from each other, and we're able to promote our shows, able to do all sorts of things, and, you know, bless you. You know, it's such a complex thing to go through. I think there's no one way of doing it.
There isn't. No, go on, Emily. Sorry.
Just very briefly, you know, it was mentioned around, you know, the fact that sometimes we can be homogenized into other people from East and Southeast Asian cultures. But on the other hand, it's also important to celebrate all of it, because at the end of the day, there is a lot of positive movement at the moment with different advocacy groups that come from the same region. No, they're not Filipino necessarily, but, you know, are starting to have a voice, and we should hold each other up, hold each other's voices up to be more positive and help each other out. I think it's really important to do that as well. That's our responsibility.
So, are you three continued and committed to keep working with Chris and Maharlika? Yeah? Good. Chris, are you committed to still working with me just because that's 3 new contacts? Yeah. Chris has gone silent. Okay. That's all right. I realize P45. You guys have said a lot of really useful stuff, and I think what is good about this is that you've spoken about other organizations, you've spoken about obviously things in the commercial sector, corporate sector, but also I think there is a responsibility about the ownership on what we take, on what we do and how we negotiate. But one of the things I definitely would say is, even for me, I've realized that there are not as many people on the other side of the table, and being in the position that I'm in on the show, it's so useful to have someone on the other side of the table who looks like you, who may relate to you, who just gets where you're coming from. And it was a very hard decision for me to go, okay, I'm going to give a lot of my career to not performing, but to creating. But when you create that space for someone, you just give them a different insight into the world and support. And so I think what I would really be interested in as well is about now, how do we, in a 3rd or 4th wave, get support from people like yourselves to help artists that may be coming from university onto this platform, but then artists who have made films to then be the directors and the writers and the producers to mentor them. And so we have a circle that keeps going. Does that make sense as well? And then how do these films get sold to corporate businesses? Do you see what I'm saying, though? That's how we expand the network. You see, I'm very good at my job.
Yeah, you almost said the answer yourself.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if we build upon it, then all of a sudden we expand and we progress and we create this whole nucleus that is Maharlika becomes a spider's web and starts going into all these different places. And for me, that warrior class in the creative industry, it is a fight. It is a battle to keep going, to keep working, all of that. So what you guys are all saying is so important. And also as well, I really wish if there was a way that we could find, there must be Filipino writers out there, right?
Definitely. I was just talking to Jeff over there, who said he's writing his play. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Who's writing a play?
But it's lovely to get to know fellow Filipinos who are writers, because that's, exactly, as a dramaturg, that's what I'm looking for. To stage new work, hopefully, at least, within my remit in the university, setting for young actors to be able to bring life to Filipino work, that would be so amazing. And that's my own personal passion project as well. And like as you were saying, the project with, I was able to know about Maharlika through Angela, who was here during the first wave. And that's how I met Chris. And that's how, and now I'm hoping that we have a wonderful community, and meeting Emily as well, to bring, now that I know we'll meet a lot of you, hopefully. Soon I would love to kind of, connect and kind of work with you in terms of bringing you into the university and as a guest to speak with students, and I think they could benefit a lot from the work that we're collectively making, and that's part of something I'd love to do really.
Yeah.
This is where I'm at.
I mean, is there a module where the students get a film and they have to create their own piece in response to that? I don't know.
We can make that. We can
Cool
work
idea.
with a London college. Yeah.
Listen, man, I got idea. I just throw them out. I don't even charge for these ones. These are just throwaway ideas. But seriously, I'm just thinking about how we generate this community and keep it going.
I think we can learn a lot from corporates. Again, drawing from my own personal experience in terms of strategy. I think it's important to have a strategy. As you say, it's all well and good sort of talking about visibility and representation, but really having things in place, different strands and different pillars that are key priorities, whether it's advocacy, whether it's visibility, whether it's changing the narrative, all those things can be driven through practical ways as much as through telling stories. So a combination of those things and really having a plan will definitely help. And I'm very happy to help Chris and the team and everyone here to look at that and see how we can do that for Maharlika and for the community. Absolutely.
Did we get on camera? Did we get out on camera? No, thank you. That is all we have time for. I feel like we're running out of time. I know, because I've got to get Chris up. But I just want to thank you, Emily, Giselle, and Angelo. Thank you guys so much for your time. Now you know who they are. Speak to them, connect with them, link with them, please, and keep this growing. Thank you, guys. Yes, of course you can, Angelo.
Congratulations to everyone.
Yes, congratulations to absolutely everyone. I forgot to say that. And also, we started a database called pinexcreatives.org. So if you work in the creative industry, sign up. So that's the place where they can no longer say, oh, we can't find the Filipinos. Well, here's the database. So look us up, Pinex Creatives, Pinxy or Pinex, Pinxy creatives.org. We're still working on the website, but you can sign up now if you like.
Thank you, Angelo. You heard it here first, Pinxy creatives.org. Giselle, Emily, thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you. That's all right. So I'll just beatbox as you go off. This is your moment. Christopher Jonathan Reyes, where are you? That's not his middle name. I said it with conviction though, isn't it? The creative director, the founder, the man of the moment, Maharlika, warrior class, nobleman, freedman, Bayani. Bro.
Yo.
You know what's mad? The first wave was this year. It wasn't even like it was last year. How you feeling right now?
Oh my days. Where do I begin with this? So coming from not a creative director, as just a human being in this space, I am Filipino, as you can see, but to be in a space with other Filipinos as well is an incredible feeling right now. I've navigated the arts for like probably over 12 years now as a dance artist, choreographer, and it feels incredible just to be here with my cultural ethnic community. It's amazing. So thank you all for coming, seriously. Not just for Filipinos, but just also everyone who came down to support our cultural communities. Like, thank you so much. Like, seriously, like, it means a lot. Like, Filipino cultural communities have been in the UK for decades,
we've been here since the 1900s, but why is it taking until now, 2022, to have this space to celebrate our identity as Filipinos in the UK? You know? So we've got to ask these questions. Like, that's been a challenge. It doesn't have to take an independent artist to have to create this space. And it's a lot of work, you know? Especially all the films. Big up to all the artists, from the filmmakers to the creative teams.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been incredible. So watching these films, it's like these stories have been resonating within our communities, our experience in the British Asian experience for many decades, but it's only now that we are actually being told it. We need more support from organizations. We need to bridge that gap. But also, there's also the elephant in the room in terms of how we can also talk about the internal challenges that we face within the Filipino community. How can we encourage new generation Filipinos to become artists? In our communities right now, art is seen as a hobby. You do it until like 7 years old. And then after that, I want you to be a lawyer, bam. You know what I mean? You win at NHS, cheese. You know what I mean? That's like Oxford, you know what I mean? Like, it's a mad thing.
Man said 7 years old. Like that's
No.
when you get your degree.
But that's how it is, though. I lie. That's how it is. Like, parents are like that. Like, but we can't blame them because they come from a generation and an era where they came and settled here in the UK. They had nothing. So their mentality, there's a survivalist mentality. It's like, how do we settle in a foreign land and still get through and still grow? You know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing is as well is that I think a lot of us have parents or grandparents from a generation of that they will do that, and it's not out of anger, it's not out of hate, it's actually out of love. Like, I want the best for you. This isn't safe. Like, we've done all this to keep you safe. Don't go and do this. And it's really hard to have parents that sometimes think outside of the box. And I mean that I mean that in a proper loving way, Mum. Yeah. I do. So I hear you completely. Something else you said about celebrating communities and talking about an elephant in the room. I do feel like in the UK, it's like there's a seasonal community. Like even if you deep EastEnders, like for a long time there was like, okay, we'll have the black family for these 2 years. Okay, get them out. Okay, here's the Asian family. Yeah. Okay, okay, let's get the DeMarcos in. It was like, but this is the East End. And actually, if you come to the East End, you don't see that many white people unless you count Eastern European and you know what I mean? Like, it was bizarre. I get Emmerdale. It's all good. I get that. I'm being 100 right now, but I get it. Do you see what I'm saying? And so I think what you're saying is so true. And my thing is that, behave, emails. My thing is, can we have this space? Can we have Maharlika, and can all these other things exist? That's the world I want to create, that we have this for the Filipino community, this for the Bangladeshi community, and it just isn't seen as, all right, so we're going to have Maharlika for 3 years, and the Arts Council will go, all right, we've done that, Chris, take care, mate, all the best, and take that funding somewhere else. Just see what I'm saying? And that's the thing that actually sometimes worries me as an artist, as a black person, to know that I want your community to thrive as much as mine. And why are we in a world where we feel like, well, if you get it, then I can't? See what I'm saying? Even, I'm going to keep it real. Yeah, we had a conversation a little while ago when Chris asked me to host the second one. And I sent in his voice note. If I had it, I'd play it, but I won't be able to find it. And I was like, bro, yeah, man, of course I'll do it, man. I'm down for it. I've got love for the team, but levels, bro. Don't you think there should be a Filipino person hosting this thing, man? Don't you think, like, you know, why don't I just train someone up? Like, why don't you just find a Filipino person and I'll train them up and I'll just, because, bro, like, I'm a black man and it's just, like, that's, that honest, and that was real fear. When I step on the stage to host this, I am in fear, proper, because I feel like, am I being somewhere that I shouldn't be? Do you see what I'm saying? So, I don't know where I'm going with that, but I feel like you said elephant in the room and I was just like, I've got to lay it out right now. Because I thought, Maybe I'm the elephant. You know what I mean? I'm Dumbo.
Yo, bro, can we? Yeah, man, we love you, man. Like, do you know what? So from the first wave, there was a lot of feedback to have you back on stage, but there's a deeper reason why I asked you to be on the space, because as a Filipino growing up, like what developed me as an artist wasn't necessarily my cultural community. It was being surrounded by incredible peers, incredible cultural communities. I was accepted into the street dance culture, which predominantly is a black community, and then you have the Asian communities as well. For me, it's about, if you're gonna advocate for Filipinos, I don't personally believe that it should just be a dedicated Filipino, every man should be Filipino. Like, we have to widen the diversity in terms of how we are being positioned within the UK cultural community. So you being here, Ash, is amazing. You hold this space incredibly for everyone. You are funny.
But bro, I could be the elephant in the room. That's why I had to say it.
Do you know what? If you are, then embrace that, bro.
Alright, cool.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because elephants, man, are people like us, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As Filipinos.
I don't know where we're going now, man. And I'm sober.
This is an art show. This is abstract. Yeah. But as a Filipino, like I want people to see just all the cultural communities that we are. It's about telling the British Asian experience. Yeah? Everyone is involved in the Filipino community. Like, you don't have to be Filipino to be in the Filipino community. You know what I mean? There's Filipino societies that happen in universities, but there's also people like races and different cultures that are a part of that because they endorse and love the communities. And that's what I'm trying to teach right now, is that you don't have to be Filipino to love the culture. If you love it, just be here in the space with us. You know what I mean? And this is why. It's about widening the perception of cultural ethnic art. What does that look like? How can we hold a space for everyone? It's no good just having a dedicated Filipino space and just Filipinos. You know what I mean? How far are we going to get with that? It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? But you being here, bro, this is diversity. And this is what the Filipino community is. It's about how can we advocate for diversity. And that's where we are right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, bro, I love what you're saying, man. Really, really do. Because it just actually stops. Because there is a fear and there's a possibility that segregation can happen within diversity. Do you see what I'm saying by that? Like, I am so anti-Black History Month. I don't celebrate it. I'm not down for it. And I will not celebrate it until I hear the Prime Minister say, and June will be White History Month. And until they say that, I'm not celebrating it, because all history should be history. So I hear what you're saying. And actually, this conversation here is what we need to action and make the how and go, actually, if you love this culture, just come true. Because bare people go Notting Hill Carnival. We don't say you can't come in. We don't, innit? We don't say, hey, sorry, Johnny, you're not whining properly. You know? We let Johnny in. Do you know what I mean? We let Johnny in and he has 2 patties and he calls it a pasty and we don't mind. Joking. This is a joke. I'm sorry, I'm a comedian, I'm sorry. But there's an interesting thing about how Carnival started and what it has become. And Carnival it doesn't seem like, even though it is indigenous to Caribbean culture, it seems very London. It seems like, and UK, like people travel from all over the UK and all over the world to come to, they go, you go to Notting Hill. They don't go, are you going to that Caribbean Carnival? And so I don't know how that happened, but now thinking about what Emily's saying, the strategy would be to research that and how do we replicate that and make it feel like it is intrinsic into other cultures, but then still make it feel bespoke and special. Because I don't want, like, Maharlika feels very, like, just very bespoke for the Filipino culture, but it's also so accessible. I feel like I can sit here and be a part of it, watch the films and get it. And so, I don't know, what's the next step? How do we spread it even wider? What's your plans for the third wave? There's a third wave, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, cool.
I don't know. I'm just one man, one project at a time.
Where's Emily? Emily, there's
Emily?
a third wave, yeah? Talk to them corporate people, yeah? Whoever it is, Red Bull, don't care who it is. Sort it out.
Seriously, I haven't thought that far. I'm just one man, like in terms of producing this platform, getting the financial support to help this. It's
Do you
going to
need a
require.
team? Do you need a team?
Yes, I need a team.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I'm just. Yeah, yo, come on. The thing is that so, in terms of this happening, it falls in a very systemic issue right now. For all you guys that don't know, this platform was possible because of Art Council funding, which is, I am so grateful for you guys. Thank you so much, like Arts Council, for allowing us to have this space and for you guys to be here and to create the films, and it's been amazing. The problem is that it's taken me about 2 years to understand and master the art of producing. Those were blood, sweat, and tears. Like, I went through a process of applying for the Arts Council for this idea and got rejected. Not many people know this. I've been rejected twice by the Arts Council for Maharlika. And this is during the lockdown when the anti-Asian hate crimes were so incredibly noisy, especially on social media. I just felt like I had to stop my own work as a dance artist and to be able to come through and develop this platform. And I had to vigorously put myself in a process to understand how to devise strategy in terms of how you produce. There's different stages in terms of how you get money to make these platforms. It's not just like, hey, I've got this platform, da-da. It's not that at all. It's a very strategic, it's a very unique language you have to speak. And you have to understand producing enough in order for this to happen. Yes, I'm here, I can get the funding, I can get the support to do this, but this is not consistent, this is not stable enough. There's so many leaders in the Filipino community right now that deserve this space as much as I have created this space for everyone. You know what I mean? But they can't, and rightfully so, can't speak the language of those that hold the money. So a solution to that is that we need to have more of our people, not just Filipinos, but just ethnic community leaders in the spaces of those that hold the money. I would love to see a creative board of just diverse ethnic people that reflect the communities that we live in. People from the community that understand they live every single day, Monday to Sunday. It's a full-time job. You see the struggles, you know what I mean? You see the incredible difficulties that artists and creative communities go through, but this is where it is. This is London. This is in an incredible space, not just London, but the UK. Imagine if we had people who were experienced and were in those spaces to give that money, you know what I mean? It will be a whole different story. We'll be seeing incredible diverse art across the UK landscape.
When you say stuff like that, I start trying to put a plan together in my head. That's what I start doing because I'm solution-led, so I start thinking, okay, how do we get there? What do we do? Okay, who do we speak to? Do we self-fund ourselves? Do we just start a whole... We had a whole, I don't know if you've seen Filipino community, but we had a whole thing in the Caribbean community growing up called Partner. Do you guys have that? So Partner, right, was this is how black people were able to rent houses, so many different things. And a whole group of people would get together, they'd all put the same amount of money in, and every month someone would get the amount. So if there was, for example, easy maths, 10 people, everyone puts £10 in. At the end of that month, everyone gets £100. Like one person gets £100, but they keep doing it throughout the year. So people was able to generate deposits quicker for things, or able to buy stuff. You know, whether it was a sofa or a car, open a shop. And yeah, there's part of me that's just like, fund the Arts Council. I mean, they ain't funded me right now, so I'm saying that. Don't say that. Because I'm like, why are we still begging for a handout? Like, there's a part of me that feels that way, and I just feel like, how do we become self-sufficient? Corporate world, Emily, tell us, please. But how do we do that? Because if we can unlock how we become self-sufficient, then this becomes a 2, 3, 5 year long program. This just becomes something that you just are able to run and employ other people to run it. And there are going to be young Filipino people that not just want to be artists, but want to be producers that go, actually, I want to be mentored by Chris. how do we access funding for that? And if we can't access the funding, how do we flipping self-fund it? That's what's annoying me right now. I don't know if you have to answer, bro, but that's where I'm at.
I really don't.
Okay, cool.
But one thing we can do is that as a community, we can support each other, like to make these platforms happen. You know what I mean? Imagine if every person in this room and those who are tuned in right now and those previous to the first wave, Maharlika, were all to put just £1 or £2 in. We can make this actually happen. You know what I mean? It's just as easy as that. Like,
Which reminds me, there's a donation link.
Yes, there's a donation link. So if you guys are tuned in, self-promo, if you guys are tuned into YouTube right now, there is a donation link. If you guys are in a space and you guys love what we're doing right now, it would be absolutely amazing to have you guys support our cultural community by just donating what you can, so we can see a third, fourth, fifth, seventh, eighth wave, you know what I mean? And allowing new generation artists to come through.
Oh my gosh. I realize we're out of time.
Do you know what? I don't even know. Sean's my creative producer. She's been behind running the whole show.
Sean, baby girl. What a link.
So the link, we'll probably post something on our IG, Maharlika UK Filipino, Maharlika UK on IG. We'll definitely do some posts so you guys can follow it and just see our journey. And when you guys can support, that would be absolutely amazing.
And if you can't find the link, just meet me at the bar. If you're just going to give me the money that you want to donate, and I will make sure it gets to the right person. Hey, tube travel ain't cheap, bruv. Oh, I just realized we're out of time, bro.
No, that's all good. Before we do that, I just want to invite the second wave artists. Do you guys want to come up on stage?
All of our second wave Maharlika artists. 2022.
Sean, creative producer, do you want to come up on stage? The internship program that we run for Maharlika, can you guys come up on stage?
Wow.
The production team, Gabby, Metaphorist as well, come up on stage.
We're going to have no one left in the audience.
Who am I forgetting?
Is that
guys,
wrong?
can we just give a big up to these, man? Like,
incredible artists. Oh, they got you something, Chris.
Wow, thank you.
You got to show the audience what you got, Chris.
Yo, this is amazing. Thank you so much, guys. For the last 3 weeks, Sean, do you want to come sit? Come. Yeah. So for the last 2, 3, 4 weeks, we devised these films in such a high turnover time. I just want to big up our partnerships, East London Dance. If you guys are in the house, thank you so much for facilitating the space, for allowing these artists to be in the space to create the work. I would love to do a big shout out to Omnibus Theatre, Marie McCarthy.
Yes.
I think she's gone now, but she was... Oh. Marie, please stand up. Please stand up for everyone.
Stand
to
up.
See. You are absolutely inspiration. You are my mentor. You are all of our mentors. And just thank you for your experience, your guidance, your wisdom, your humbleness, your love and kindness in facilitating such a safe and creative space. We love you and thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie.
I just want to thank also Filipino Society in partnership with University of Greenwich. One of the main strategies for Maharlika was how can we get students into the professional, platform to be able to get more experience. And I just want to thank Sean, the president, for being able to bring in students to help. So Miles Davis, Joshua Martinez, Eki, if you're here, thank you so much for being so important during our process. Thank you. 2 more shout-outs. So Ashley, bro, thank you so much for being in the space, for being the voice of Maharlika, for guiding our audience and making it fun. Thank you so much. And the last shout-out goes to you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all those tuned in YouTube right now. If you guys are here, thank you so much. This is the UK Filipino scene. We are a creative scene. We are one community. We are here we are going to grow, we're going to diverse, and we're going to like make our voice loud. So you're going to be seeing third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave. We're going to go into different sectors, from visual arts to theatre, from theatre to street art. We're going to go absolutely everywhere. And this is our space, and we deserve it. We're reclaiming it. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chris Reyes. Thank you, Maharlika. September 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the show, tell everyone. But if you didn't, shut your mouth. Good night. Get home. God bless.